What inspired me to continue my language studies is that I really enjoy the classroom atmosphere in a language classroom. It's a lot like elementary school because the teacher goes around and asks, what are your plans for the weekend? What did you do last night? What's your favorite animal? What's your favorite color? And we talk about vacations and just fun things in life that you don't talk about in your science or math classes. But you're also learning a lot more at the same time while you're doing those fun activities. So I really like the atmosphere of the classroom. I also really like being able to apply what I've learned in French to my music studies. It helps me to be able to read the tempo markings and style markings and understand how to more properly perform the piece. What I enjoy about French culture is how it's more open than American culture. They're very open about talking about their relationships with their families and significant others, and it's something that I think Americans are sometimes embarrassed about. I also really like how they appreciate food and consider it more intellectual sometimes, and they just take their time and they prepare it properly, and they have opinions about it, and they just really enjoy food. Well, I think Americans sometimes, or all the time, kind of just eat what they have and eat it as fast as they can. I also like, it's inspiring how out of French culture has come so much great music, art, literature, and that's something unique to French culture. Language has affected my life by reminding me that the world is a big place and everyone does things differently, but inside we're all the same. Some people may go to an open-air market, and some people go to a big supermarket, very commercial, but we all go to the store and get our food, and we all take it home to our families and enjoy it with our families. So I like that it's opened my mind to different ways of life, but it also has made me feel more connected to people all over the world.
My language background is a bit different. It's unique in a way. I was born and raised in Puebla. It's the fourth largest city in Mexico. And I was born of an American mother and a Mexican dad. My mother is from Traverse City, Michigan, and she was born and raised there until she was graduated from college. And my dad was born and raised in Watson-Jiang, Puebla, as a kid. And that's another city, small town in the mountains of Mexico. So they came from very different backgrounds. And my mom and dad met at U of M. So when my mom graduated there, my mom and dad decided for different reasons to move back down to Mexico, and that's where they decided that they wanted their kids to grow up to experience a whole different world and to gain a cultural experience from their lives in Mexico. I think the advantages of being bilingual are social, cultural, and as well as physical, but I think culturally, if you're acquainted with a certain language, you're acquainted with that culture and that way of being. And I think when you are interacting in the real world and you happen to speak the same language as someone else from that same background, you're really able to connect. So the cons to being bilingual, there's a lot of, it really varies from person to person, and I've known of people who have trouble really adapting to one language or the other, and they end up ditching one language, and that's not always good. It's really important to keep both languages up, especially with people who come from two different backgrounds who are bicultural. Is bilingually a word? Well, that's an understatement. Language has not only affected my life, it has defined it. Because I have two mindsets, basically. My two languages that I've learned have that culture attached to them, So I have the Mexican mindset along with the Spanish and the American mindset along with the English. That's the best way I can explain it. It has really given me a lot of opportunities throughout my life to be able to connect with people. Because when I was living in Mexico, I would meet someone who speaks English and I'd be able to help them or interact with them more. And of course, I'd be able to interact with all my family who lives in the US and all my family in Mexico. So it has helped me socially, really think about how people interact. It has given me this sense of openness, of open-mindedness,